everybody. Another episode of the Rapper Cow Podcast. I'm your host, Mike the Young OG. I have a special guest with me today, Ms. Tyaunna Cleveland.
Hi, I'm Tyaunna LeNelle.
So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us everything that you do. Celebrity.
Oh, God. Okay. First of all, I'm not a celebrity, Mike. My name is Tyaunna LeNelle, and I am an R&B singer. And currently, I have 2 songs out that are on pretty much all streaming platforms. And I will be having a new single coming out January 1st because we want to start the new year off how we want this new year to be. Mm-hmm. Because 2020 has been like crazy.
It's been a rough year.
Yeah, it's been a rough year. Mm-hmm. So 2021, I need it to be a really musical year for me.
We need it to be a musical year in general.
Yeah.
So let me drop some music.
Yeah, I have a new single coming out on January 1st, midnight, and I'm really excited about it. So my Instagram is Tyaunna LeNelle, or at Tyaunna LeNelle, and y'all should follow the journey.
For sure. I'll tell you now, the song is fire. I really like it a lot. I really like it. And I'm not just saying that 'cause she's on the podcast, because I will be the first for everyone who does music. If your music is bad, I'll tell you your music is bad. And I'll tell you why it's bad. So, it's nothing personal, but you know.
That would be so awkward.
Yeah, it would be awkward. Like,
song.
And I'm like, yeah, this is not it. But I appreciate you trying and for sharing it, like, and having that courage to share it with me. But, yeah. So, I really like the song for sure. We're gonna get into that. I got a couple questions about that.
Okay. Which I appreciate. He gave me a lot of feedback.
Maybe too
a
much.
A storybook.
I'm about to say maybe
a
too.
Feedback.
A little bit too much.
No, but honestly, no, truly, I like 1,000% appreciated every single word. It was so in detail. Like, even though you even before you sent it, you were like, I know it's a storybook. You said so much. You said so much feedback, but I appreciated every word and all the thought that went into it.
Appreciate it.
So
I'm glad I got it early because.
Yeah, definitely, of course.
I love getting music early. So.
Well, that's not the first of my music that you've heard early.
Yeah, that's true.
But that was like the first single, though, that you've heard early.
Yeah, you need to stop withholding. As soon as you get it, recorded, produced, all that, edited, the engineer comes in, I just go ahead. Oh, yeah, by the way, I just recorded this. Appreciate it.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so I'm going to have to give you a top 3 like I do all my guests. And I'm going to keep it simple and easy because you're a first timer. And, I don't want to discourage you from coming back. So we're going to go top 3 favorite artists right now.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. My top 3 favorite artists right now at this moment. Mm-hmm. I don't take that question lightly. It's not a hard question, mm-hmm. but I don't ever take that question lightly. Give me a minute.
Oh, you're fine. I was about to say, I know mine off the top of my head because I probably listen to the same people every day.
I would say the people who I really just have on repeat more and admire more right now, whether it be their artistry or their voices or just their music currently. Mm-hmm. Ari Lennox.
Yeah, Ari's been dope.
Yeah, just her whole vibe, it's always. And then I watch her lives, and her
lives are hilarious.
Her personality is everything. Mm-hmm. She has me hysterical, just laughing at the top of my lungs sometimes.
She's so blunt and open and honest.
And open and honest, and it's like things that people might maybe even be embarrassed to like do in front of other people or admit in front of other people. Like Ari is the one to put on a wig that looks absolutely like crazy. Like the wig is not brushed out or anything.
Mm-hmm.
She'll put it on and she will imitate a news reporter. Like, but it's just funny. Like she's such a lighthearted, just genuine, beautiful spirit. So and that on top of just the sultriness of her music is just like, how could you not love Ari Lennox?
Yeah.
Her artistry is out of this world.
Mm-hmm. Her
as an artist is like everything, and her voice is everything. And what I love about her is she plays a lot of instruments.
Mm-hmm.
She's been doing it for such a long time, and she can like, her voice is not only stunningly beautiful, but I love that she holds it down for those lower notes.
Mm-hmm.
Like she doesn't have to do all the whistle tones and all the like super high notes and all the runs out of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Like she holds down a song with the lower notes, and she can do runs and stuff like that, but she just the soul within her music is amazing. And let's see. Oh, okay. This one's gonna be a little different, but Big Sean.
Elaborate on that one. I need to know that one. I did not see that coming.
This one's Big Sean's new album. Like I listened to from top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it.
Mm-hmm. That was a very nice project.
Yeah, like it was fire. I loved it, and I loved the freestyle, and the freestyle was really long, but the thing is, I loved the different elements of it. I liked the different people that hopped on it. You can always tell when Eminem hops on a track, his voice is just so distinct, and I've always loved Eminem as a rapper. Mm-hmm. I was that child that that memorized Mockingbird, what's the song? Yeah, I'm not even gonna sit here and try to think about it because this is about Big Sean. But anyways, I appreciated that Eminem was on that freestyle. I liked that. Mm-hmm. But about Big Sean, I just loved his entire project. Mm-hmm. Loved it. And Big Sean, his lyricism.
I was about to say his songwriting definitely improved.
Yes, like just the things that he says, and he actually says things that mean something. Mm-hmm. He's not being extra like braggadocious in his music. And one thing that's really important to me is like people that stand for something. Like, and honestly, okay, even if you're not boasting from the mountaintops and the rooftops that, hey, I stand for something. Mm-hmm. Most of us stand for something, but I like when people do kind of like showing what they stand for, because I feel like we do get a lot of noise when it comes to the entertainment industry. Like we do get a lot of like the party tracks and you know, the drugs, the dancing, you know, all that, which is good. It serves, you know, they all serve its purpose. We all need it from time to time to like feel good, to feel ourselves. But I feel like, especially this year, we all really needed to do a deep dive into ourselves. And I feel you hear that within Big Sean's music as well.
Yeah, for For sure. Him and J. Cole are very powerful in their stance, but very subtle with expressing it. So
yeah, definitely.
Three solid picks. I was hoping you didn't say anybody like Doja Cat or something like that, cause.
No. So the thing is with Doja Cat, she really stood out to me this year, and I loved her performances. More than anything, like her performances were like top notch to me, and because I'm the type of person that I find a lot of enjoyment in like watching performances and watching interviews and watching behind the scenes footage and like stuff like that all the time. That's my entertainment more than watching TV shows.
So I know you love Beyonce's Homecoming then.
Yeah. What?
I didn't say anything bad.
What
It was amazing.
world?
It was amazing. All right.
Like, how is that a question? Beyonce's Homecoming. Did you like Beyonce's Black is King?
I'm gonna tell you now. Don't be disappointed. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. I'm okay. I think I would be more disappointed. Why is he looking over here?
I don't know.
Is there?
I don't know.
Does he work here?
I think so. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, sorry. But sorry, that threw me off. But I'm less disappointed to hear that you haven't seen it. I think I would be more disappointed if you saw it and like didn't see the artistry in it.
I don't know. I've seen glimpses, but I haven't had a chance to like sit down and like dedicate time to just that. Cause I literally like only watch podcasts, interviews, one-on-one.
I mean, there are some people that like I've definitely. Is he coming over here? Like he's like making me nervous. I don't know. Okay.
Oh, he's been messing with that rack the whole time.
Oh, he's just being nosy.
He's being nosy.
But I've definitely seen like some people that have seen it say, "Oh, it made me feel weird," you know. But that is, for me, when it comes to artistry, Black is King. That was one of those projects that like just the art of it all and the beauty of it all, like it, I'm not even gonna lie, it brought me to tears. Like at different parts. It was just so beautiful. It was just so beautiful. Like, and so I loved it. And Beyonce is just she's so motivating and inspirational. So when she puts out stuff like that, I love watching it. And it's always a boost for me, like, gotta do more. I gotta do better.
Yeah, I think for Beyonce, I think it's probably a boost, regardless if you liked it or not. I think it's a boost for everybody because she's been at the peak of her powers for 20 years, basically. So it's more so like encouraging to see that she still is able to grab creativity from wherever, whenever that she needs to, and it still not be the same regurgitated, like sounding music, looking things. Like she's just fashion icon, creativity out of this world, like everything. Like she's very inspiring.
Yeah, definitely.
So since we're on the topic of music, let's go back to yours. So of course I love the song, like the lyrics, love the beat, everything. So where was your mind like when you first heard the beat? Like, did you immediately have words for it, or were you kind of like, let me sit back and kind of like just digest and think about whatever?
Okay, so when I first heard the beat, I was laying in bed. It was at night, and I was just thinking about, my mind was already at a certain place. I was thinking about, how do I say this? Just a situation that I see or see in my future. Like, just me attracting a really high value man, in a sense. And me knowing it, even if he doesn't necessarily know it at the time. And when I heard the beat, it kind of just like solidified. So it was kind of just like, that's what I went into. It's kind of like meditation. You know, when people say, when you go into meditation and you have an intention, and then you go into it and you release it there, and that, you know, that kind of sets off the whole law of attraction and all that. It was kind of like that in a sense where I already had my mind in a certain place, and then I heard the beat, and then I was kind of just vibing to it a little bit, and then the words just started coming. And that was one of those songs that came more easily. Like, I didn't have to keep going back to it too many times or leaving it too many times. It was one of those that was like, maybe I think I either got it down in 1 or 2 sittings.
I guess so.
And it was, I don't know, it was very intentional. Like, I don't know, just the way, it's hard to explain. I guess I felt like the mood of the song was kind of above me. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to turn this person on. Like, it was more so like, this is what I see. This is what I even feel like I know. You may not know it, but you're going to find out sooner or later too. So it's kind of like, I see this, like, I see this thing that's going to happen, this, what is the word? I'm like blanking.
Vision?
Yeah, kind of like, I see this vision, and I'm not even necessarily creating it, but it's there.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to, like, I don't have to show you necessarily. I don't have to make you believe me. I don't have to force it, but you're gonna see it at some point too. And I know that to be true.
Yeah, when I first heard the song, like, it didn't sound forced. It literally sounded like, to me, it was like one of those things where I was like, maybe she had the lyrics on her phone already, and then she was like, oh, this beat would be perfect, and she just put it to it, because it literally just sounded so natural, flowing, and it was very, very, like, intimate without being sexual, which really stood out to me, and I was like, wow, like, it puts you in a mood of being calm, relaxed, and like a thinking mood. Like, it's more like you used your voice very well in the song, like as an instrument. And it was kind of like when somebody like hypnotizes you or whatever, and you're like in a lullaby, you're like the beat is like, it feels like it's looping over and over. You're like, wow, like I'm ready to go to sleep now, or I'm ready to like write my own stuff down. But that's why I asked that question, because it seemed very, very effortless. And I know we talked about it, just about losing it, and if you lose it, then it's gone, or you come back to it and hopefully like you have something for it. But I could definitely tell it didn't. I thought you did it in one sitting, honestly. Like, that's what it felt like, and you were just like, let me go get some water, come back and do this little last part, and then we can wrap it up. Like, that's what it felt like. So I think my next question to you is, being that, you know, you work in the mental health field, what have you been doing in quarantine to kind of keep your brain stimulated, your creativity stimulated, and to just keep your head above waters?
I spend a lot of time with myself. I do my best not to get so wrapped up in everything that's going on outside of me. and what that may look like is not getting so wrapped up in social media.
Yeah.
Especially right now, I know we can't go too many places right now, especially with the second wave of the pandemic. But I just really, I spend a lot of time with myself and focusing on myself. And I also spend time with people that I truly care about, that I know truly care about me. And that's my best friend, that's my family. And I do try to make time for that as well. And that, I think, feeds energy into me so that I have enough to give to my clients when they need it. Because the mental health field is a really difficult field to work in, because essentially we're all going through our own things. And I can declare myself a mental health worker. But what I found was a lot of the things that my clients talk to me about that they're struggling with, I've struggled with this year. At it to some capacity. Maybe not as severe as some of them. I take it seriously that I'm good when I speak with them, because another thing with the mental health field, it's not one of those fields that you can really have a bad day and take it out on your job, because these are people that really need help. So if you're coming to me and you need my help and I'm taking my issues out on you, like, that could be deadly. It could be detrimental. And it could have really bad effects. Not to mention, you can face some really bad things, because you're supposed to be doing your job, and obviously, like, saying certain things or behaving in a certain way, or even ignoring your phone is not doing your job. So essentially, I'm on call for a crisis. And so even during this interview, if my phone is to ring and it's one of my clients, I need to take it and make sure that they're not in crisis. So it's hard. It's not something I want to do forever. I definitely want to do my music. That's my safe haven, in a sense, when it comes to work. Because it's work that is the most fun work. It's work that I feel like is my purpose work. But that's on that level. I don't think that's my only purpose. I think that there are levels to it. There are different sectors within life. That's my work purpose. I feel my music. I have family purpose. Someday I really pray to have a family and grow one. I have just humanity purpose. I really want to give back in huge ways, and all of that.
So back to the part when you say you spend a lot of time alone. I know a lot of people just in general have been struggling with being alone and feeling like they are alone, they're lonely or whatever. Like, what are like specific things you do when you're alone to kind of maybe block out, oh, I'm living alone and I don't have anybody to talk to, or my best friend's busy, or my family's busy or unavailable, to like keep you going and keep you from going stir crazy?
I used to actually really have a difficult time being alone when I was in college. It was really hard for me.
Really?
I preferred being around people, and which is crazy because I felt alone a lot of the time in college, and it was not by choice. So I often, looking back, I feel like I was sad a lot of the time. Back then, and at different points in my life. But now I've grown to really love my alone time, but I look at it from a different angle and I take different actions when I am alone. So I don't just sit there and like watch TV the whole time.
That's what I was getting at.
I don't just sit there with my thoughts because what I do feel is could potentially be damaging to your mental and possibly emotional health a little bit is if you just sit there and do nothing. Like a lot. Because when your thoughts kind of start going, they can start spiraling. And that's actually something that I even tell some of my clients. Like, if you have nothing to do, you gotta have a daily routine. You gotta. It's good to have things to do, even if it's around the house. Like, get up, take a shower, get dressed. If you're a girl in it, or if you're a guy, whatever it is. If it makes you feel good to get all done up and dressed up, put makeup on, do your hair, do that some days. Like, you need some sort of just structure in your day. Because then I feel when you just, you go through each and every day kind of just like, that's where I feel you can start getting a little stir crazy.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest adjustment for me being is that I'm a routine guy. So I'm like, if my routine is broken, I'm in shambles for like a little bit until I create another routine. So that was big for me. I think like things I did during quarantine, like I colored, which I don't know what that is, but it's like very therapeutic. I've colored. I, of course, started the podcast. And, like, I would sometimes literally just get dressed and, like, call, like, a friend or two and just be like, yo, I want to go to Carytown with mask on and take
just
pictures.
Walk,
take
pictures.
Take pictures, like, and I'll make sure, like, now it's more essential for me to do things early. So I'm like, I'm not going to sleep in till, like, 11, 10 o'clock. I'm going to get up at, like, 8, 9 o'clock, wake up, might lay in bed for a couple minutes, get up, shower, and then get my day going, whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because if you stay in the bed or you stay in the house and you wait until like 1 or 2 o'clock to leave, it's way more difficult to get your day going that way. And I think that was what I started to realize, and when I started to get out of the groove of just being like, there's nothing to do anyway, so I might as well just stay in the bed. Because I watched everything Netflix has to offer. So
yes. No, but you're right. Like, honestly, waking up early is like, it's good. And putting things in your routine that maybe you haven't had the time to do, but maybe you want to start doing to start bettering yourself. Maybe I want to start reading 30 minutes a day. Let me incorporate that into my day. I need to start working out more. Let me start incorporating that into my day. I want to start writing music more. I want to start doing this. And those are things that I really truly started to do more. I started working out more. I started writing music more. I started planning out things more. Like, I truly, about a month or so ago, before announcing and really putting into action that I was going to be releasing a new single next year, I knew that I was gonna start taking my music more seriously next year. I didn't really have a plan for it, but I knew it was coming, and I'm kind of like one of those people that first I gotta get like mentally and spiritually right. And I gotta believe and have faith in where God is taking me. And I got there, and I got to a point where I was like, okay, God, I feel like I have the faith now. What do you want me to do? Like, what, I don't know, like, what's the next step? Because I'm also a believer that faith without works is dead. Like, you gotta work for what you want. Like,
you saying, I
believe, and then it just happens. Like, no. Hey, for some people, exceptions, it works like that. For the vast majority of people, it won't though. So you shouldn't treat life like that. So, I was doing my mental health work full time, doing Lyft on the side to really try to grind, and writing music, recording music, and praying, and all of these things, just trying to be more in tune with the signs that God was trying to show me, the things that God was trying to show me for my present and my future, and the lessons that he was trying to show me from my past even. And then one day I was just like, okay, I'm gonna get a planner. And I really prayed on it, and I just started planning out my music endeavors for next year. And literally, like, each date before I wrote down stuff on each date, I prayed about it. I was like, okay, is this the right date? Please. Like, because I've gotten planners before, and I've written things down before, and it's been a waste of time because I don't go by it. So I didn't want that to be I didn't want that to be the case for this. So I was just really trying to be intentional on really planning. And when I mean planning, I mean planning, like planning, okay, these are the release dates. These are the shooting dates. These are the purchasing dates for the beats, or the stuff to shoot, or the dates to send out stuff to be mastered, or the day to send out stuff. Like, I really went into detail. And I prayed on it, and then it's like the ball started rolling a little bit, and then I got really discouraged, like for a good 1 to 2 weeks after planning all of that out. And it just, I don't know, I just went through a time of being really discouraged, and I was kind of documenting that for myself. And then, like, my family and I went to New Jersey / New York for Thanksgiving to see my sister. And we were in a beautiful hotel, and I was like, oh, I wish I could take pictures here, because I even planned out like days I would post on Instagram. But at that point, I got so discouraged, I marked off. I was like, it's not gonna happen. And so, but then something was like, wake up early, take pictures. So I took pictures, and in 5-6 different outfits, and I just so happened to take pictures in enough outfits to fulfill just the right number of posts that I had planned for a certain number of days before my single of release. And I just so happened to post my first post on the first day that I had originally planned, but I hadn't even looked at my planner anymore because I had been so discouraged.
Oh, wow. So
it was just things were lining up, and then financially I had been through some things, and I was like, I don't know how. One day I even broke down, and I just started crying, and I couldn't stop crying just with myself. And I was like, Lord, I feel like you showed me all these things. I don't know how I'm going to do it myself, though. I can't do it myself. I'm trying hard, but I can't. And then, different things happened, and I just happened to get the money to do what I needed to do to get this single done, and done by the date that I needed to. So it's like God really has shown himself along the way, and kind of has validated what I thought he was showing me, so that I didn't feel like I was crazy. I thought it was you, but maybe it was just me. So yeah,
that's good. So what was my next question? Dang, no, I forgot.
I don't know. I don't know
either. We're gonna move to my next question after this. So moving into what you said about just validation. So I was reading something the other day, and it was more so, or not even reading. I had watched a video, then I had read something. And I don't know if you saw, but the Breakfast Club had posted this one dude that they did an interview with, and he was like, men should get credit for not cheating. And so, very controversial. Off rip, I don't agree. So, it was more so, it made me think, and I posted it on the page, and I was like, is it rap or is it cap? Of course, I'm getting DMs from multiple females like, Michael, if you agree with this, I'm done being friends with you. I don't want to talk to you. And I'm like, listen, I just asked the question.
It's just a question.
I was like, it's not on me.
Don't shoot the message.
It's not on me. But it was some men that were like, this is not a bad idea. And I was like, so I feel like you shouldn't get credit for not cheating, because to me, women are more tempted than men, even though they outnumber us. But men don't go to clubs, they don't go to parties. Nobody's smacking them on the button like, yo, you look good. Hey, shorty, like whistling to them, like yanking them in the club, like all sorts of type of things. Like, men don't get that done to them. So for me, it's like, as a woman, you're tempted more, even if you're just like, ew, like, don't touch me. Like, women are tempted more, they're sought after more than men are, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So what I took from it, though, was affirmation and validation. So I think it's important for women and for men to kind of acknowledge and appreciate each other more, in the sense of not, hey, I appreciate you not cheating on me, but I appreciate you in general. Just showing that open validation and open encouragement, open everything. Just making sure like the other person knows that you appreciate them, you're not taking them for granted, and that sort of thing. So my question to you is sort of, how do you feel like validation in general should work? Should it be based off of love languages, or should it be based off of how you think the relationship is going?
Okay. So, well, I think kind of both. Mm-hmm. Like, when you're with someone, y'all should definitely know each other's love languages, mm-hmm. because you need to know what the other values and how the other person understands and truly, I guess, receives love. And you need to understand that, because that says a lot about how the other person feels validated. Mm-hmm. So, but I said both because it also depends on how the relationship is going as well. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm with someone who's not respecting me, and with someone who I don't truly feel appreciated by, then sometimes that can be hard to then show that appreciation myself. Mm-hmm. And not that it's impossible, mm-hmm. but it can kind of create turbulent waters, mm-hmm. in the relationship. But when it comes to validation, I agree with you in the sense where I don't necessarily think that someone deserves a cookie for not cheating, mm-hmm. and not stepping outside of the relationship, because I feel like if you decide to be in a monogamous relationship, and that's your choice, mm-hmm. then that is something that you decided to do. That's not to be necessarily, like, you don't get necessarily awarded for doing right in that relationship. Now, that kind of comes with, like, On the other hand, though,
Yeah,
that's not a period. That's like a comma. But if you have someone that's doing right by you, though, the relationship should be a rewarding relationship.
1000% agree.
So you should be doing right by them. That relationship, I feel, should be both of y'all safe haven. It should be a mutually respected one. That person should feel validated. That person should feel respected and loved within their love language. And they should feel just seen. And I feel like a lot of times people don't feel seen. Especially a lot of times people truly, and I hate to see it, like when people really go out of their way to do something for people, and they're really like, oh, this is gonna make them so happy, and it truly makes me just be like, oh my gosh, and it kind of goes completely over the other person's head. And you can really see someone like their whole, like, I don't know why the word countenance is coming to my head. Legit. What am I going back to? Bible school? Like, their whole countenance is falling. Like, no. But you see their whole expression, like, kind of, like, fall. Like, it's all almost like hope. It's just kind of like, well, I did all this for you, and you're not seeing it. You're not appreciating it. And I feel like that's a lot of times problematic. It's definitely problematic within a lot of relationships. Not to say that that's the only problem in a lot of relationships, but it is problematic when people feel unappreciated, when they feel taken advantage of, and when they feel like no matter what they do, it's like you're never truly satisfied, or they can't, I don't know, it's like, because I've heard arguments like, but I'm doing right by you, and which is great, but I don't think you should necessarily want a special celebration for doing right by somebody. But your relationship, you should be with someone who makes you feel good though for doing right by them though. So I think that's the differentiation. I don't think it's a black and white thing. I don't think you should be with someone that's like, so you do right by me and what? I don't care. Like, but I have a headache in your ear the whole time. Like, so you're supposed to do right by me. Like, I don't think it's supposed to be that way. But I think if you're doing right by me, then I'm supposed to be making, like, it's like I want it to be a positive experience to be with me because you are doing right by me. And I want to do right by you. And I want to make you feel good. And I want that to be the validation.
Oh snaps! It's like, oh snaps! Because I really do feel that way. And I think when you said like I'm doing all this, like, and I feel taken advantage of, like, that goes back to love language. And some people's love language is gifts. And like, as the man or as the woman, you have to realize, okay, like, that's how they show their love and that's how they receive their love. So like, when they're doing all this, it's important for me to not go, oh my God, thank you, but like make a big deal out of it. Like, I really do appreciate it, and like make sure like you use whatever it is they gave you or whatever, because that's a big deal to them. But at the same time, you have to realize too, if that's your love language, then I need to dial it back a little bit. Maybe if I see their love language is not gifts, it's important for me to realize they just need words of affirmation, or they like acts of service. So instead of me buying stuff all the time, switch it up. Like, one day just, hey, I'm really proud of you, like, for, whatever it is. And that goes a longer way than I bought you the new PS5. He's like, oh, thanks. Cool. Like, you might not get that reaction that you want. Men are probably going to be ecstatic you at the PS5 in general, but, or whatever, if you're a woman and you play games, but that goes a longer way than you just saying, oh, this is what I bought you, like, and whatever, because, I mean, I love gifts. That's not my love language, but a lot of men aren't really moved by gifts.
Monetary things.
Men are more and it sounds bad. It's more like, what can you do for me?
But now you're dipping your toe into what men value.
Yeah.
Is what, and you know, I feel like that's a topic that's been kind of going around. So you're kind of saying, but not saying, that men don't value, however, like much money a woman makes or not. That's not what you said, clearly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is what you said. But it's kind of like, I think it goes along the lines of that. I was actually just talking to a friend about that for a lot of men, men don't value money when it comes to women. Except for if, in a lot of cases, if the man...
Unless you're Beyonce, then I care.
In a lot of cases, or in some cases, if the man wants to benefit from your money. But so in 2020, because I know when a lot of women hear that, you know, it opens up a can of worms, because in 2020, especially, there's just a lot of women who are doing so well for themselves. We're doing well for ourselves. And we want that to mean something. And it does mean something, and we value that. And we want that to be valued. But to hear that monetarily it's not valued, and that a lot of times at the top of a man's a lot of times at the top of a man's value ecosystem, our looks is kind of like, I feel like a lot of women get defensive. But like in 2020, what do you think? I guess, what do you think about that?
So what do I think? All right. So as a man, I think that men can be superficial with looks, and we've talked about this before. Just we look for, like, she looks good and she's at the top of the list in terms of looks. So her next to me, it doesn't really matter. I'm just attracted to her beauty. I'm not looking at anything that's inside. I'm not looking at how we match up spiritually, mentally, physically, politically. Men, at the top of their list is, how does a woman reflect me? And looks tends to be at the top of that list, which is pretty superficial. But I think more now, there's a lot of men out there that are like, it's more so along the lines of being superficial, like I said, but nowadays I think men want a woman to reflect them in the sense of their morals. And I mean, I'm not knocking whoever does it. Like, if it gets you a man, it gets you a husband, whatever. But, you know, I don't know if you saw the video on Instagram, but this restaurant owner, he got mad and went off and was like, don't twerk in my restaurant. Like, you can get out. Yeah, I don't need your business. Now, his methods, I don't agree with. His message, I agree with, because that's his business. He's trying to have a certain level of prestige and whatever with it. But I think men look at things like that and they're like, I will go there with you physically. I won't go there with you spiritually and as far as being in a relationship and all that. Men look at, a lot of women don't realize, a lot of men look at those things first. Money only becomes an issue, to me, from what I've seen. Money only becomes an issue when everything else goes bad. Because there's a lot of men out there that will date women that have more money than them or that have less money than them, and it's not like I make more money than you type thing. It's more so like all right, whatever, like, you're at where you're at in life. Like certain circumstances cause people to be in the things that they are, and they can't control everything. So I think a lot of men are looking at more so that aspect more than anything else. And then in general, men have a hard time connecting to women. So it's more so along the lines of, yeah, like I'll go there with you physically because there's no ties. I don't have to open up. For me, it's easy to just stay at bay. And then there's some men who are like, well, they catch feelings or whatever. But a lot of times that's men's approach to things. But monetarily, I think men do appreciate a woman who has it going and all this. It's just the independent woman movement has been tainted. So you hear a lot of women like, I'm independent, like I don't need a man, like I can do this, I can do everything a man can do. And I feel like that's not what the independent woman message is. I feel like it's more so along the lines of, I can't do what a man can do physically and what he's built for, but the same way that he can succeed in a corporate office, I can succeed in a corporate office. There's nothing that men can do, just more so in like life and stuff like that, like make it big, accomplish certain things that women can't do. I think that's more so what it is. But the independent woman movement now feels like it's more so along the lines of, I'm trying to uproot or replace the man or even step into the role of being a man because I've never seen a man do this, or there's never been a man that's been consistent in doing it. So that message gets tainted, and it's more so along the lines of, it feels like it's more so along the lines of women stripping men of their masculinity and then men tearing down the woman because they're offended. So it's like a two-way street, and some men strip the woman and then they go back and strip them of the masculinity. But it's more so like push and pull right now, because I don't want it to be misconstrued. Men love independent women. There's some men that like to have the fact they're like, yeah, like my girl needs me, like it's an ego trip. But more often than not, you find men who are like, I like the fact that, even, especially me, I like the fact that, all right, if I go out and I have a significant other or not or whatever, like I could go out and be like, look at you and be like, yeah, dinner's on you. And she's like, okay. Like, it's not so, all right. Like, men like that because, like, when I was growing up, I was just more so like, my dad buys everything from her, whatever she wants, whatever. Like, my dad always pays. Like, my mom would pay sometimes, but whatever, like, mostly the men. So I always cherished that I could be like, I was in a financial state to be like, all right, cool, like, I got it or whatever. And, like, I'm in college, I'm like, I'm not working the first 3 years. I'm like, I'm thinking budget. I'm like, so you just not gonna offer? Like, we at Panera, we're not even that, not even that Carrabba's or something. Like, we at Panera, like, bill $12, you can't get that. Or we at Carrabba's, and I'm like, can't
you don't want to. So you don't want to feel obligated to like 100% of the time have everything.
Yeah, like I feel like relationships should be mutual. Like I can be independent and you can be independent, but when we come together, it's not more so looking at rank, and it's not more so me trying to take away your independence. So, like, when I get into relationships, I just think of it as, like, okay, like, I know you're independent here. I'm not going to take that away. I'm just going to show you that I'm available to help you in that area if you should ever need it or if you should ever want it. It's not more so of me taking it like, yeah, I know you used to do this and this, but I'm going to do it now. And that's how I see, like, opening doors, like paying for dinner. Like, yeah, I know you can open your own door, but you don't have to do that.
Like you want to do that.
Yeah, I want to do that for you. Like that, if it's something that you don't have to do, and it's small like that,
it's not a slight.
Yeah, it's not a slight. So I think men just have to do a better job. To get back on topic, I think men have to do a better job of allowing women to be independent in the areas that they not naturally are, but then also keeping in account that women are growing more and women are doing more, so you have to be acceptable that there's some things that you might be comfortable doing that she's better at than you.
Mm-hmm.
So let her do that. And because monetarily women are, being more successful, it's important that you acknowledge it, but you don't search it out. Like, now, since y'all are balling now, I'm gonna go get me a woman that has more money or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like just like, and I was gonna say nowadays, but I'm sure it's been like this forever. Mm-hmm. But I feel there are some people that look at relationships like a business transaction, mm-hmm. where in that case, all that would matter to you, both of you, really, mm-hmm. are both looks and money. Mm-hmm. For the man especially, like, looks, mm-hmm. And for the woman, money, like what you got for me, and the mm-hmm. man's like, okay, you look good, like on my arm. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you said, for the vast majority of men, what y'all value just surface level, mm-hmm. at the top of it, in the beginning, are looks. And from what kind of like I heard you, like everything that you just said, it's like, even though it's superficial, mm-hmm. it's true. Mm-hmm. But from what you just explained, it sounds like that's enough. Like, looks alone are enough to like get a man. Mm-hmm. But with some time, it's not necessarily enough on their own to keep a man.
Exactly.
Unless, like, not a good man.
Yeah. I feel like men, like, you can get a man simply off your looks, and that's facts. Like, men will stay with a woman because, for one, men are nesters, naturally nesters. So men, like most men are, so mm-hmm. men typically don't just get with a woman and they're like, whatever, unless you're like a top celebrity like Trey Songz or something that you can do that, like, mm-hmm. cool, like, that's your bag. But most men, when they notice they have like a really good looking female, they're not gonna just be like, okay, like, cool, whatever. Like, it takes for them to see you have little substance for them to be like, okay, I'm cool, like, I'm good. Mm-hmm. Like, most men don't typically do that. Mm-hmm. So really just like thinking about it, it's like, okay, like, the first thing that is going to attract me because I'm a man is what I can see, because we're visionaries. So it's like your looks are naturally going to attract me.
I think that goes for like everybody though. Mm-hmm. And okay, when it comes to a lot of people that get upset when they hear the looks argument, I get how that can trigger people and get people defensive. But okay, come on now. That looks are the first thing we all see. Mm-hmm. So I think I'd be lying. Okay, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but me. Like, I'd be lying if I were to say that looks don't matter mm-hmm. to me. Now, I will say that I've been in situations where in the beginning I was not interested because of looks, mm-hmm. but then as I got to know the person, I became interested mm-hmm. on a romantic level. Mm-hmm. So that has happened in my experience, where I allowed an I didn't even go in with the opportunity, like, I didn't go in with that intention, mm-hmm. but it just naturally happened that way.
Yeah.
But looks, if I'm thinking of creating a romantic like experience, looks do matter for me. Mm-hmm. And I think they matter for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And now what I may find attractive is different from what other people may find attractive. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, the beauty of it all, because we don't all like the same type of people mm-hmm. or the same look. But to just say that looks like don't matter at all, like that's insane. But I think people get so upset also just because, not that looks shouldn't matter, but because they matter so much to men, like to the point where I think some men could be with a gorgeous woman who has like little substance, or like some women who, from what they see, because it's hard for me to even say that she has little substance, because who's to say I see what you see? Like, I probably don't. But like, I guess and then you got jealousy that goes in, that taps in here and there too, or not even jealousy all the time, but like, just when people are triggered, sometimes people just it's hard to see like how something can be acceptable in any capacity. And everything is then black and white, and there are no like areas or shades of gray in a sense.
Yeah, I think men are more so like, the first thing that they look at is, how does she make me look? And like, men know that other men look at looks first too.
So you feel validated.
Yeah, so it's like a validation. It's like an ego thing. Like, look what I have on my arm. Like, I was able to get this. Like, and I feel like it doesn't matter. Like, some men surprise themselves in what they can pull. I don't want to say that word, but what they can attract. So it's like, when they do get someone who's like really beautiful, and they're like, I mean, I'm average, and they're like, look what I did. Like, it's like an ego thing. So it's like, I mean, I don't really care what's going on in the inside. Look what I got like on my arm right now. And that's
until you've had like enough on the inside.
Yeah, and that's really been that's really been like a real problem, because men are like, man, bro, she's bad though. Like, she's bad. It's like, okay, like, but there's nothing worse than having someone very super attractive that everybody wants that doesn't have what you need. Because now it's like, not only am I hurt, but I gotta release her back to everybody else out here who wants her. Like,
release.
Exactly. Like, that's what it feels like.
But see, then you're getting into the instant gratification of it all. Like, which is another thing that I feel like our society truly like struggles with. We all want to be like instantly gratified all the time. We don't want to work for something. We don't like having faith, because truly, like, if we don't see it like right away, then like we don't truly like
it's
working
not meant
for
to
it.
be.
Yeah, it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
So that's why we often stay in situations that maybe we shouldn't, because at least we have it right now.
Yeah.
And I hear you, like, if you're in a situation where you're with a gorgeous, beautiful woman, but she's driving you absolutely insane, or on the flip side, say she's not driving you insane, but deep down you just know it's just not, it's not right.
Yeah, it's
like,
not
with, it's not, it doesn't fulfill you truly on the inside, or it just wasn't all that you thought it would be. But she's beautiful and every guy wants her. But truly, like, having faith, and I feel like that's where spirituality truly comes into it, where you really, if you believe in a higher being, which I know you do, but that's where you really gotta really go to that source. And for me, it's God. But go to God and have faith in where He's guiding you. And I feel like, especially depending on what type of person you are, you can get all that you need. Like, looks, everything that you need. I don't think you're going to be, if you truly have faith in the source that you have faith in, you also have faith that He's not going to leave you hanging.
Yeah. Like,
He's not going to, you're not doomed to a less than satisfactory life with just a gorgeous woman that you're just like, life with her is just like, like, for the rest of your life, just because you're afraid and you don't have faith that there's another gorgeous woman out there that actually has the qualities that you actually need. And that's the thing. I just feel like and it's not just with men. I've seen women do it. I've done it before, just being in a situation where you're like kind of weighing the pros with the cons. And you're like, but the pros are like here, but the cons are like kind of really tearing me down right now, even if it's just on the inside. And it's like, do I truly have faith that there's better? And it doesn't even, it's not even the grass is greener on the other side type of thing. I'm not talking about like, oh, I want to go cheat on, you know, I'm not talking about that. I'm truly talking about, am I fulfilled where I am? Have I prayed about it? Have I, and that's why I said it truly, I think spirituality plays a huge role in this, in that clarification of it all, and the discernment of it all. But once you get there and have faith that God truly has your back, and he's not just here so that you can have an okay life, or so that you can just have a life that looks good on the outside, but on the inside you're kind of like, like, then you can have faith in what you got to do, or the time that it may take to get to that person that has those things that you yourself need, both on the inside and the outside. And that's not going to be a perfect person, but at least it's going to be the person that you need. And you will be satisfied from the outside looks of that person to the inside of that person.
For sure. Alright, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and I'm gonna betray two man's secrets. So, still dealing with what we're talking about. So, the first one is for men. Like a lot of men don't have that spiritual relationship, and either they do or they don't. And if they do, it's more so along the lines of, how do I get past the surface level? Like, how do I get to that next step of intimacy with God? Like, what do I look to next after I pray? What do I look to next after I read, like, Genesis? Like, a lot of people still read, I'm going to read Genesis all the way through Revelation. 10 out of 10, don't recommend. Like, don't recommend. You will go to sleep by the time.
10 out of 10, no.
Yeah, you will go to sleep by the time you get to the end of, to the middle of Genesis.
Don't do the boring way.
Yeah, definitely. So, I think for men not having that line to a higher level, for them, they think on the surface level, and they're like, okay, cool. She's dead gorgeous. I don't have the faith that
to know I could get
that I can get that level of woman with that qualities. And it's twofold. It's more so like, I know who I am, and I know another woman might see what I am, and she might not accept it. And then the other part is like, what if she doesn't exist? And what if I'm missing out on an opportunity and I just need to put in more work? And then it just keeps the same.
It's like a spiral.
Yeah, it's the same spiral. And you're like, I'm unhappy, but maybe it gets better. And men are like, I'm not going to leave because I don't want to be the bad guy. And then